Hey everybody, I'm Miss Berry. I'm going to make a short video to just welcome you to the class and show you around our D2L course. So if you're watching this video, then you are enrolled in my pre-calculus online class. I'm going to flip the camera around so that you can see my screen. We're going to talk about the syllabus and then I'll go through the course calendar. Okay. So let's start by just going through the syllabus. A lot of this is really basic information that I'll let you read on your own, and I'm just going to talk about some of the more important stuff. So here you can see my office hours and my office location. So this is my office phone number here, 912-279-5932. Obviously it's an office phone, so you can't text that number, but you can call me and you can leave me a voicemail. And if you will let me, if you do need me to call you back, leave me your number, and then even if I'm at home, it'll send the voicemail to my email and I can give you a call back. So this is my email, jberry, and Berry is with an IE, jberry@ccga.edu. That's the best way to get in touch with me. And typically, like it says here, I try to return your email or call within 24 hours on a weekday and then within 48 hours on the weekends. These are my office hours here. If you want to meet virtually with me outside of these hours, then just let me know 24 hours in advance and we can meet on Teams or on Skype or Zoom or whatever. So again, this class is pre-calculus. It's 4 credit hours. I just want to emphasize that is, more than your typical math class, and that's because this course is going to be very fast-paced and it's going to require a lot of your time. It's an intensive study of the basic functions needed for the study of calculus. So we're going to cover 2 classes really in this one class. We're covering all the topics that you would cover in a college algebra class, as well as all of the topics that you would cover in a trigonometry class. These are your course learning outcomes and general ed outcomes that I'll let you read on your own. More importantly, let's talk about some of the requirements of this class, given that it is a fully online class. I'm expecting that you check D2L on a daily basis. I check it on a daily basis, and so I'm expecting the same of you. I suggest using Google Chrome. That's what I use, and I typically don't have any issues with D2L or with Hawks, which is going to be where we complete our homework and our exams. So online course activities. You're going to complete what are called certify assignments on Hawks, and that's going to be your homework. And then web test, as well as the final exam, will also be administered through Hawks. So I'm calling them exams, but Hawks calls them a web test. They're the same thing. So I'm going to set up a little Q&A coffee shop in the discussion board so that you can ask me questions. You can ask anonymous questions here. So if you don't want to email me, you can always post in the Q&A coffee shop anonymously. But I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have via email. Typically, if it's like a really in-depth question, I might make you like a little short video and then post that to YouTube like in a private link, and I'll send that to you. Like if it requires me to write anything out, that way it's just easier for you to understand. But like I said, if you would prefer to ask anonymously, you can always do that in the Q&A coffee shop, which is on the discussion board on D2L. So some technical requirements, of course, you're going to need access to a reliable internet connection. We're going to be using, like I said, the web test on Hawks to administer the exams. And through those web tests, you'll also have to be using Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor. And it's important to note that Chromebooks are not compatible with Respondus Lockdown Browser. So if you do have a Chromebook, then you'll need to either make arrangements to use someone else's computer, or you can request a laptop from Tech Services if you just click that hyperlink right there that says this form. Respondus Monitor So let me just tell you a little bit about Respondus. Respondus is a custom browser that locks down your testing environment. Basically, it makes it to where you can't print anything out. You can't go to Google and search, the question. It's just locking down your computer so that all you have access to is the test during that time. As soon as your test is complete, then Respondus Lockdown browser will close. Respondus Monitor is a companion product to that lockdown browser, and it will have the webcam on to monitor if maybe someone's behind you and they're giving you the answers, or if you are looking at your phone or have another computer in the window while you are completing the exam, it will alert me, and then I can go and watch your video and make sure that you're not cheating. So don't be stressed about using Respondus Monitor. A lot of students stress about it, but I'm not sitting there watching you take it. Just think of it as just like if you were sitting in the classroom and I was, observing the testing environment. So it's nothing to stress about. But you can use either one of those hyperlinks there to check your system requirements to make sure that you have all of the necessary, things installed to run those Respondus Lockdown browser and Respondus Monitor. I have a lot of links here and information about if you need technical support help. Unfortunately, if you have any issues with D2L, technical issues with D2L or with Hawks, I can't help you because I don't have access to that software like on the back end. And so I'm giving you the information here so that you can request help if you do have any issues with D2L or Hawks. Hawks is really awesome because they offer 24/7 live chat support. So if you just click this link here, it will open up this Hawks Learning live chat. You just type in your information, you put your name, your email, College of Coastal Georgia, and then this is pre-calculus. So you would scroll down here and hit pre-calculus, put that you're a student, and then you can ask them a question, say something like, I don't have access to my Hawks right now. Can you help me figure out what's wrong? So they have 24/7 live chat support for technical issues. They're not there to, tutor you. This is just, again, for technical issues. If you have maybe a larger issue, they may ask you to fill out like a support request form. Sometimes like 2 accounts get created, and I'll talk about how that can happen. And then you have to put in a request for those accounts to be merged. All right, so like I said, everything in this course will be accessible through D2L. You won't have to go to any other website. Even whenever you're completing your homework on Hawks, you will access Hawks through D2L. So you're just going to go straight to D2L to complete everything for this course. Don't forget that the Attic, the Writing Center, they all offer their services in a distance learning format. So make sure you're checking out the CCGA webpage, and you can use the My CCGA app on your phone to look at the times that you have tutors available for the Attic and the Writing Center. Additionally, you also have 24/7 access to tutor.com if you just click the tutor.com link at the top of your D2L homepage. I promise we're getting to the important stuff here. Let's scroll down and look at our ebook. You do not have to purchase a physical copy of the textbook, but you do have to purchase this ebook with access code. It's available through the bookstore. The title is just Pre-Calculus. This is the 3rd edition. And you're also going to need to purchase a graphing calculator. I recommend the TI-83 Plus or TI-84, as that's what I'll be using in my videos. So it's kind of just easier to follow along if you have the same calculator. And it's important to note that you may not use a calculator on your phone, laptop, or any other higher functioning device during a test. So if you want to use the calculator on your phone while you're doing the homework, that's fine. But once you're on the test, you need to have an actual calculator, not a calculator on your phone. Last semester, Walmart was running a sale on these graphing calculators. So let's just see how much they cost right now. Let's look for a TI-84. You can see they're around $100. Staples has got them for a little cheaper right now at $90. But you could also buy, a used one off of eBay if you could find one for a good price. You can also check like a pawn shop. Sometimes they'll have someone around, after they finished their class, then they went and pawned their calculator. So you can check there too. Or you can borrow one from a friend. Maybe you can, maybe someone who took college algebra or pre-calculus or trig or something in a previous semester. You can ask them if you can borrow their calculator. All right, like I said before, you have to have access to a reliable internet connection. All of the homework assignments and tests will be administered online, so it's important that you, that you're using a good internet connection. We use a standard grading scale in this class, ABCDF, and then our methods of evaluation. I have homework set to 30%. Unit exams, I have 4 on here, but I think let me check the schedule. There's actually 5 unit exams. Sorry, I lost my place. So there's actually 5 unit exams. Those are going to be 45% of your final grade. And then the final exam is worth 25%. And again, all of these methods of evaluation are completed through Hawks, which is accessible through D2L. This is the late homework penalty. So if you are, something comes up and you are a little bit behind on the homework, if you're just 1 day late, it's 10% penalty. 2 days late is 20% penalty. 3 days is 30%. 4 days is 40%. And then if it's more than 4 days late, then it's a 50% penalty. There are no extensions granted for exams, so you have to make sure that you complete the exam during the exam window. I give you 72 hours to take the test at your convenience. So while I'm not letting you make up any exams, the final exam will replace your lowest test grade, including a missed exam. Maybe you just forgot to take it, and so you have a 0 for that test. I'll still replace that 0, as long as it's to your benefit. If you score lower on the final exam, I'm not going to replace any of your higher test grades with a lower grade. But if this policy does not apply to cases where I had to give you a 0 due to an academic integrity violation. You can read more about the academic integrity policy here just by clicking this link. But let's talk about important stuff for this class. Of course, all of our exams are administered online. This is an online class. You have 2 attempts at each exam. The main purpose of this is to allow for circumstances where maybe you have a poor internet connection or there's a technical issue with D2L or Hawks. But if you can, of course, just use your second attempt to try to make a better grade. So don't feel like you can't take that test again if you didn't have internet issues. Please feel free to use both attempts each time and try to get the highest grade possible. Each exam will be available during a 72-hour window. I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it'll be, from 12 a.m. on Friday morning to 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night. So all day on Friday, all day on Saturday, all day on Sunday. You will be allotted 90 minutes for each exam. It's an hour and a half, and you have to complete the exam in a single session. So you can't say, like, if there's 10 questions, you can't stop on question number 5, come back a couple hours later and then finish it. You have to complete the exam in one sitting. And then, like I said before, there's no extensions of exam windows. This is my expectations for the proctored online exams. So make sure you read over those. It's just simple stuff like you have to do a little environment check. So if you will slowly pan the camera around the room so that I can see your environment, or that the camera can see your environment. You can't use a cell phone on the exam. You're expected to be alone during the exam. I understand if you have, your kids running around in the background, that's fine. But I just don't want, a friend sitting in there with you Googling every answer, which I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You're expected to remain in the room for the entire time you're completing your exam, so make sure you use the restroom before starting the exam if you need to. It says the student's entire head should be visible to the camera at all times. Microphone should be on, and of course, you should not post, email, or discuss exam questions with other students or any other people in general during the exam period. This is considered academic and dishonesty and may result in a 0 on the exam. So from Friday to Sunday, don't talk to anyone about the exam. especially someone in your class. And the final exam is cumulative, which means it covers everything that we talked about throughout the semester, and it will also be administered through D2L. The rest of these are college-wide policies. It's not that they're not important. They are very important. We talk about the withdrawal policy, the chain of command for communication and services for disabilities here, but I'm going to let you read that on your own. And then here I just have the full URLs for all the hyperlinks that I put in the syllabus. So make sure you read through all that stuff on your own. Here I just wanted to talk about the schedule really quick. And I wanted to point out how much I'm expecting of you, because this is a very demanding class. Normally this class would meet 4 times a week in person, 50 minutes per class. And so, I'm sort of expecting that you work on this class 4 times a week for about 50 minutes at a time. The first week, since I know you have, it's the start of the semester, you have other things going on and you need to get signed up for Hawks and all that stuff. I only have you covering 2 sections, but from there on out, it's pretty much 3 or 4 sections a week. So the first test will cover Unit 1, which is chapters 1 and 2. So you can see the first week I've got you covering sections 1, 2, and 1, 3. The next week is 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. And then the next week is 1, 7, 1, 8, 2, 1, and then 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5. And then at the end of that week, the exam will open. I've got the homework due for the last day of the exam window. So the exam and the homework will both close on September the 12th at 11:59 p.m. I'll let you look at the rest of the calendar by yourself, but this is something that I would suggest that you print out. Maybe you can tape it or like put it in your folder, tape it to, the wall by your desk or whatever, wherever you're planning on working on this stuff at. This is what I go by whenever I start my week. Every week I go and I look at the calendar and I say, okay, what do we got going on this week? What do I need to be prepared to answer questions about? So use this as a resource to help you stay on track this semester. I want to show you how I have D2L set up really fast. I don't want the video to be too long. Let's see. We're not quite at 20 minutes yet. So let me switch over to student view and just show you what our D2L looks like. I don't have any course news posted yet, but typically I post every Monday in the course news and just let you know what you have due that week or what you should be covering that week. All of the important information will be located under the content tab. You can see it's pretty bare right now, but as we move through the semester, you'll have more and more stuff here to look at. So in Unit 0, this is where you should start. Of course, you should read through the course syllabus. I've got the course schedule linked here, and then this is my schedule. So this just shows you when I'm in class and when I'm out of class, or when my office hours are. So you can look at that if you ever want to schedule a meeting with me outside of my office hours. Let me go back to Unit 0. All right, so here is, you'll click on this link the first time you ever sign on to Hawks. So if this is your first time in the course, you'll go to Unit 0, then you'll click Sign on to Hawks. Unfortunately, it's not going to pop up the same for you as it looks for me, because it's got me set as the instructor. But at this point, you will be prompted to fill out some information. You can purchase your access code directly through Hawks if you want to. It'll give you access to this ebook here. It's a blue book, Pre-Calculus 3rd edition. And so, like I said, you can purchase the access code through Hawks. It's a little bit cheaper if you purchase it through Hawks than it is at the bookstore. But the advantage of purchasing it at the bookstore, the access code at the bookstore, is that it is you can use your financial aid. All right, so this is where you will sign on the first time you ever sign on. Don't go to like hawkslearning.com. You always should go through D2L to access Hawks. All right, so once you have signed on the first time, you don't have to sign back. You never have to click on this link again. I have a separate link here for all the homework assignments. You can see I haven't edited the due dates yet, so they all say overdue. But you can always, from here on out, once you've signed in using that link the first time, then from there on out, you can go to whatever unit you're working on, click on that homework assignment. It has 3 parts. It's called Learn, Practice, Certify. Learn is basically the textbook. So it'll tell you like objectives. You can go through and read the stuff. It does have some interactive things, like it has videos and animations and stuff. It's got screenshots of what the calculator looks like. So it's not just a textbook. It's got more information than just the textbook would have, like a physical copy of the textbook. And these videos, they aren't me talking. So this is someone from Hawks, but they're typically pretty short. Like this one's 5 minutes. And so if you're not a person that benefits from like seeing all this written out, you can watch the video and, you know, learn that way. All right. So once you have gone through Learn, again, it's got important information like properties of exponents. You can be taking notes as you write this. You don't have to write everything down, you know, but something like this, properties, or let's see, something else. Or maybe you want to write down the definition. You know, you can write down some stuff. I wouldn't suggest trying to go through all this and write everything down. Once you've completed the Learn portion, you can go to Practice. And they also call this like Pre-Certify. This is going to look almost exactly like the Certify portion, which is where you're getting your grade at. All right, so you can go to Practice. You can try some questions. So you can see it has 15 questions here that you can try. Whenever you're in the Practice portion, you can click on this little tutor button down here, and you can see a hint. And then you can say you want a different problem. You can try similar. Let's see, I'm going to submit my answer, show you what happens if I get the question wrong. It looks like I need to use an exponent here, so I'm going to click on the keypad, and I'm going to click this button here that's going to put it in the exponent. All right, so I'm going to get this wrong. So let's see. All right, so it says your answer is incorrect. Explain, or excuse me, please choose one of the following. Try again or explain error. So it's going to tell you which rule you should be using. Then you can go to hint, learn, or you can just look at the solution. Once you go back to Practice, it's going to prompt you to try a similar problem. And then once you get it correct, let me show you what it's going to look like. It's going to say that's correct, and then it'll let you move on. All right, so once you've gone through Practice, you feel comfortable enough to move on to Certify, then you can go here. You can see down here, it says Mastery 77%. What that means is that you only have to score a 77 on this homework assignment to receive 100 in the grade book. So as long as you master 77% of the material, it's going to give you 100 on this homework assignment. Now that's good and that's bad, because what that means is that if you get, excuse me, if you master 76%, it's going to give you a 0. It's all or nothing. So you either master it and you get 100, or you don't hit that mastery level and you get a 0. So that means that it's so important that if you are struggling trying to meet this mastery level, you need to let me know so that I can help you, because I can go in and look at your problems and see which ones you've gotten wrong and what your answers were. I can go in and give you some one-on-one directed, you know, advice for how to hit that mastery level. So you have to let me know if you're having an issue with a certain lesson and you can't hit the mastery level. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit about how Hawks works, let me go back and show you how I have our class set up. All right, so we already looked at Unit 0, which was the course introduction. And then Unit 1, like I said, is chapters 1 and 2. So I have it separated by chapter, chapter 1, chapter 2, the Unit 1 homework, and then the Unit 1 exam. I have this little practice exam here that you can complete and turn in for 5 bonus points. I'll talk about how you can turn that in just a minute. But let me show you how I have this set up in the specific section. So let's say that it's the first week, and we know that on the first week, we're supposed to be going over sections 1, 2, and 1, 3. So you would go here to Unit 1, click on section 1, 2. It's got guided notes for you. You can use these when you're following along with the Learn portion of Hawks or with the video. So you can could download these and, you know, write in them on your iPad, or you could print them off and write on them by hand. And then while you're completing those notes, you could be watching this lecture video. So this is actually me talking. So it's a 2-part lecture video, and I will show you what it looks like. So this is me.
Hey everybody,
This is me from last semester. You can see it was made in January of this year. And so you can follow along with the notes and watch the video, and it'll be just like you're in class with me. So I have a little whiteboard on here. It's like a virtual whiteboard that I'm writing on. So it's just like we're in class together. Okay. So I'll make a video whenever we get closer to test time and just tell you a little bit about the test. This is my first semester using the web test on Hawk, so I have to learn it a little bit too. So I'll make a video on that when we get closer to time. Let me switch back over so you can see me. Stop sharing. Okay, so I'm really glad that you're in my class, and I hope that you like Hawks. I like it. I like that it gives you immediate feedback, but I know it can be sort of frustrating whenever you're not hitting that mastery level. So like I said, all that you have to do is just let me know, and I can help you reach your mastery level on any assignment that you're struggling with. It's important that you master most of the assignments, because that's really going to help your overall grade. It's going to bring your overall average up if you have hundreds on all those homework assignments, especially if you know that you're not a very strong test taker. So like I said, I'll talk more about the test whenever we get closer to the exam time. But I just wanted to welcome you to the class and explain a little bit about how the class is going to work. So I won't keep you any longer, but if you do want to ask me any questions, please, either post in that Q&A coffee shop discussion board, or you can email me at jberry@ccga.edu. And I think that's it. All right. Thanks, you guys. Talk to you soon.